disciplinary hearing face to face, this is really important, and in other jurisdictions, in Europe and the UK, courts are a little bit more robust on this, but in the UAE, the Labour Court, they want to see a meeting of 2 people or 3 people. They want to see the company and the employee discussing the allegations. At the outset, good practice, confirm the individual understands the allegations against them. Again, you're avoiding that argument then that the individual turns around and says, well, I didn't even understand what was going on. And again, that's important if you've got a foreign language speaker. And then a really good tip, always finish a disciplinary hearing by saying, is there anything else you want to add? Because that avoids the argument of the employee turning around and saying, well, I wasn't given the opportunity to put my side across. If you've got minutes which say, no, there's nothing else I want to add, then you're putting yourself in a good position. The decision. So always adjourn the hearing before issuing the decision. And there's two main reasons for that. If you make the decision at the hearing, it will look like the decision, or it could look like to the court or the employee, that the decision is predetermined, i.e. the outcome was decided before you even did the hearing. But secondly, and perhaps most importantly, it shows it gives the employee the impression that actually their case is being considered, it's being thought of, and that people are thinking about it afterwards and then giving it a reasonable consideration. Always set out the reasons for the decision in writing clearly, and the test is always going to be if a third party, and I'm not suggesting you give it to a third party, but if a third party who knew nothing about the case read your decision letter and A, understood the reasons for dismissal, and B, empathised, I'm not necessarily saying agreed, but empathised. If you can tick those 2 boxes, then you've set out the decisions clearly enough. If you can't, if you haven't ticked those 2 boxes, then it's likely a Labour court's not going to think is not going to understand what's going on. Sanctions should be fair and reasonable. Even more important, it's got to be consistent. It's a common flaw that clients issue disciplinary sanctions, individual brings a claim, client says, well, we've got a really strong case, he did X, Y, Z, and then during the course of the proceedings, the individual turns around and says, well, yeah, but so did ABC, did exactly the same, and they only got a written warning, whereas I got sacked. And if they produce that argument, it's going to be very difficult to defend. And then I think Jack mentioned, are there any alternatives to dismissal? Just bear in mind, sometimes, certainly lawyers, we kind of sit there advising clients to dismiss people and all that. But actually, I think you need to remember, dealing with people, they've got families over here, they've got visas, it's potentially going to uproot their whole family dismissal. So just try and bear that in mind.